What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Week 9 Swolecast here on RotoGrinders.com. I know that everyone's like, wow, we just need to come together and talk about this Week 9 slate, and that's what we're going to do. I'm David Kitchen, joined by Peter Overzet, joined by Davis Mattek, and joined by Dan, Mr. Tuttle 05 Gasper. Guys, how's it going today?
Doing good, Kitchen. Doing good. Just coming off a night where I think, everyone was very measured, very rational. And I think we kind of carry that energy into how we approach this slate. Let's just, very clear-headed analysis, I think.
Yeah, we all learned a lot about the liquidity and the value of live betting markets, I think, as well.
When you saw people betting like 400, like DFS guys, poker guys, when you saw them betting like 400,000, 800,000, like what was going through your mind, Davis?
So poker guys they're such slaves to the math that they just got to arb the good numbers. And so all that action that everyone was seeing was not as crazy as it appeared at the time, I think.
Other than on Blake's side, right?
Well,
I was about to say, Blake.
Blake was exposing himself. The other guys were just taking advantage of Blake, basically.
Pockets on swole for Blake after last night. Peter, what was your takeaway?
My takeaway is maybe, just maybe, we can't put our complete faith in what the betting markets are doing on a minute-to-minute basis. Yeah. But I do, I said it on Twitter, I do want to shout out all the heroes that kept us up to the second on the live.
-220 now.
The best was when somebody like, it's behind. I keep refreshing and it's behind. I don't think it's a current market. I was like, well, it will be in about 5 seconds when you update us again. So thank you, heroes.
I can't even laugh right now because I've probably refreshed the offshore markets about 976 times since 6 p.m. last night.
Yeah, well, have fun withdrawing in 60 days. So anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about football and
hang on before we do, Dave, can we just get the backstory on the Dairy Queen run on election night? There was also a cool story where you ended up getting your neighbor one, I believe. Tell us how that all went down.
Yeah, so I was basically at a popcorn. I'm like, this is going to be a long night. We're going to be in it. I was watching a few different streams. I was watching like the mainstream media stream. I was watching the poker stream with Matt Glantz, and I was watching the Jason Calcanis, like the
that one was
founders. Good. Yeah, it was good. So I was like, I'm going to be here for a while. So I'm just going to go, like, it literally is 1.5 miles down the road. Dairy Queen is. So I went down there and then I screenshot it and my neighbor's like, get me one. Like, he replied to my tweet. He's like, give me one. I'm like, what do you want? And so I got him one. Like, how clutch is that? Like, how good of a neighbor am I?
That's unreal.
Yeah. I was impressed. And I was also that I saw in your screenshot the snickerdoodle cookie dough blizzard. Did you try that? Have you tried that one?
No, I didn't try. I wasn't feeling it last night. I just wanted Oreo and brownie last night. That's what I want to do. But today it's with all the craziness going on, it's time for some Arby's. So we'll see.
Can you just
how long it takes for me to go pee?
What diet is this one called?
Yeah, what is this diet? Because if it's whenever there's craziness going on, you're going to be eating like this for a long time.
No, it's the bit diet. So true story. It's my youngest daughter's birthday. So we were driving home from picking her up from school. And I'm like, Holly, do you care if I go get some Arby's? And she's like, are you craving Arby's? I'm like, it's for the bit. But then I was kind of craving Arby's. So.
Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah. That's why we're here. A special shout out to everyone that has hit the like button. If we have 2,000 subscribers by the end of the show, 2,000 subscribers, there is a interesting photo out there of me that will be released, I think, by Devin. So 2,000 subs, and you get to see me in that workout gear that only my wife has seen so far. And she will tell you how, and this Swolecast crew has seen.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually want to see it. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know. This is before the blizzards and the Arby's. Also, this is, if you're listening right now, like, what is going on right now? And you're listening on the RotoGrinders main NFL football stream, this is a 1 week thing. So sorry, we're on your feed. But if you want, you can just search Swolecast on YouTube and our iTunes app, and you can see exactly why we work harder than anybody in the business.
I mean, this is the Crusher show. This is the ROI show. Nothing's changed.
We're the only show in the industry covering the Week 9 slate. Everyone's too bogged down in election prediction markets. We're focused. Hyper focused. Also, people asking about the Swolecast League. It will be up soon. It did fill, and it filled early. We're making it a little bigger, but not quite to the 1,000 people. But FanDuel.com/Swolecast. It's a 3-entry max. It is 10% to first, top 20% cash. It's the best tournament because it's rake free as well. You can't get better than that tournament. So no other show is going to have a tournament as good as this. All right, so let's talk Week 9. Peter, where are you on this Week 9 slate? Just sitting over here waiting for you to say Jake Luton in cash.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think
I don't even know how you pronounce his name. Like, I don't know how. Is it Jake Luton? Is it Jake Luton? Like, how do you?
I've been going with Luton, but there's no way it's Luton because there's only one
No,
team.
it's Luton. I remember this.
What if you said you were a Luton for punishment?
There you go.
I think
Tuttle laughed.
I think David might be more athletic than this guy. Have you seen his player
Devin,
profile?
Devin, can we get a picture of Jake Luton up on the screen, please?
Oh wow. I haven't seen him yet.
His agility score, first percentile, bottom 1 percentile agility score.
He looks like he could be a contestant on The Bachelor, man. He's got.
Oh, I was gonna say he looks like the guy at the frat most likely to hit on your girlfriend when you go up to the bar to go get drinks.
Like I said, a contestant on The Bachelor.
All right. As far as the overall feel for the slate, is it just coming down right now to Lockett versus Metcalf? Is that what every week's going to come down to?
No, I
just
think there's
zigzag,
more plays.
bro. You just zigzag. You play the one who didn't just have the big game. It's science.
Tuttle, we got in the secret chat. We got into it, and by we I mean Davis against the world, basically. Do you want to tell the listeners why Davis is a donkey?
No,
one of the reasons.
You know what, Davis is a donkey in a lot of aspects. I don't think he's necessarily a donkey here. And I don't necessarily disagree with him about matchups being predictive.
I just go too hard on it because that's what I do.
Yeah,
I'm not taking an L. Basically what I've been telling these dudes is Metcalf is just better and he's going to score more points. So you're just better off playing Metcalf in general. And then there's this whole
you're thinking of like ignore matchup. That's what you say is ignore matchup, ignore potential game script.
Well, no, I don't care if Tre'Davious White covers DK Metcalf. I truly don't.
He doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Davis. You don't think there's any predictability in it?
Yeah, like maybe Tre'Davious White can shut down DK Metcalf, but I sure as shit am not going into my lineups and being like, dude, I got to jam Metcalf because of the slot funnel, or got to jam Lockett because of the slot funnel.
See, in my argument, and I think obviously it's a small sample. We're dealing with extremely small samples, and in any NFL season, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters.
Yeah, it matters what Pete Carroll thinks
and what Pete Carroll think, and they're clearly targeting the guy in the worst or in the better matchup each week. So I think that's the argument for it.
They clearly have in 2 games, and I think maybe if DK Metcalf gets 3 targets and David Moore gets 9 and Tyler Lockett gets 15 in this Bills game, then yeah, maybe I will reevaluate. But I'm certainly not going to put weight on it after 2 games. Where also, by the way, Metcalf still could have been fine in the Arizona game had David Moore not had that holding penalty.
And Lockett could have been fine if he scored touchdowns. I mean, the point is that they're like the targets are going to one place. It's like you want the guy. We always want the guy with more opportunity.
Yeah.
Peter, we've got Miami and Arizona. We've got Kyler against your fins up.
Do we? And I mean, this isn't
Yeah.
This isn't a normal fins up week. I mean, I do need to point out Matt Breida did not practice today. The team hates Jordan Howard. It is Laird season, guys.
we gotta
How
get
much
some
are you wanting
confirmation.
it to be Laird season?
I mean, in my life, it's always Laird season, but it's nice for it to be Laird season for everyone else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as like, obviously last week you had the Dolphins defense step up and Tua didn't have to do anything. Like
someone on
basically
this
had,
show
like,
touted the Dolphins defense, if I recall correctly.
well, it's okay. I get some wrong too. So, but anyways, like you get Tua as in this game, like potential game stacks. You've got Lamar. You've got guys that this like this Ravens team that's like underpriced against Indy. This is going to be, I think it's going to be a fun week. I'm just going to call it. It's going to be a fun week. Tuttle, what are your thoughts? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to hammer out UCL here before it locks.
Classic Davis Tuttle action.
I mean, the time change really screwed up. Like the time change, we had this starting in an hour and 15 minutes and we were cool with it. And now UCL is in the middle of the show, which makes it a little bit more difficult. And now there's a train going in the background. I don't know if you
all right. So Peter, what are your thoughts on as far as like the pricing this week?
Yeah, well, I'm actually checking my Bitcoin right now. It is pumping, so I'm not as focused as I should be. I am excited about this game. Davis has been down on Tua. I mean, they had the defensive, scoring touchdown. Yeah, Davis, you said he looked awful out there. You said that.
He did.
Then you just said that me saying
I was the one who had to talk you. I was the one that had to talk you into bidding extra on Tua, though. You were trying to pump the brakes on Tua, and I had to talk you into it 2 weeks ago.
Get out of here. Anyways, to Dave's point, Tua is cheap. Preston Williams is cheap. Devontae Parker is cheap. They don't have their main running back now. So there's lots you can do there. And I don't know. It feels like a skinny stack week. We can do Russ to a Seattle receiver, your choice. You can do Josh Allen to Diggs. You can do Kyler to Nuke. And of course we got Tua here with a little double stack action. I like it.
All right. As far as the over-unders, the totals, you got obviously Seahawks at Bills going to be the top over-under with Seahawks at 28.75 implied team total. And then the Chargers and the Raiders, the second highest total as far as over-under is interesting. Wonder if people be on there. And then Detroit and Minnesota after that. So the second and third games are definitely interesting, Davis, as far as team totals go.
I think there are great games this week. I think obviously we're going to see a huge chunk of entries in, for example, like the SPY on DraftKings or the Stiff Arm on FanDuel going to be, Russell Wilson, Diggs, Metcalf or Lockett, like those type stacks. But then we have the Detroit Minnesota game where, if Minnesota, like obviously Dalvin Cook's going to be super chalk, but I wonder how many people are going to be willing to roster Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, those guys. But I think there's a game that looks super juicy from a amount of plays run game and the salaries in that game, and that's Denver at Atlanta. Because I just think this will be like a normal Falcons game. They're going to get up 14-0. Denver's going to have to abandon the run. All their guys are cheap. Fant, Judy, Alberto, KJ Hamler, everyone on the Denver side is super cheap. And this game has no Calvin Ridley. So the secondary wide receivers on Atlanta are all below the cost of an average roster spot. On DraftKings, we have Hayden Hurst, Russell Gage, and then Christian Blake, who Atlanta does this thing where they have 6 wide receivers, but I think that instead of having like a 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receiver, they view Zacchaeus, Blake, and Powell as like direct backups to those positions. And Christian Blake is $3K, probably going to be playing that Ridley spot this week. I'm super interested in that game.
I'm just tilted.
It seems like we never get these secondary Falcons receivers right.
Let Pete get his tilt out.
This guy cannot go a sentence without mentioning Albert O. I mean, the guy gets one target a game and Davis touts him every possible chance he gets.
Hey, one target, one touchdown, buddy.
Noah Fant coming off of 16 targets in the past 2 games, and Davis is still just.
I said Fant first.
Oh snap! I just pulled up the blitz projections. By the way, I think there's a blitz promo happening now. I'll find that. Or producer Devin, if you can find
Robbie
that.
Anderson, wide receiver 1.
Tua though is the top quarterback right now as far as points per dollar. Tua, then
Tua
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Let's
talk about
Tua looked really good last week.
Oh, hey Dan. Hey Tuttle.
Back from the UCL streets.
Dan decided on his Serginho Dest versus Pedri 1v1.
Tuttle joining us for the Miami Tua talk that we had 10 minutes ago. All right, Tuttle, since you're back with us, I'll ask you, Daniel Jones. I want opinions on Danny Dimes after Monday. Go like
why is this?
He's not even on the slate,
show.
is he?
Yeah,
he is, but it
Slate?
doesn't matter.
I had to double check to make sure he was too, because
Okay.
I didn't really care about him either.
Yeah, he's on the slate. He looked
All
good.
right,
They have
you're
so
right.
many air yards. They're airing it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. GPP play Danny Dimes. 5.4K on DraftKings.
Are you stacking with him, Sterling?
No, I think I haven't looked at any air yards data, but I'm guessing if there was some air yards data, it would not be Sterling, but it would be Slayton.
Slayton is 7th in the NFL in air yards.
Like they came so close to connecting.
I mean, I know this show is useless, but spending any time talking on Daniel Jones this week is like taking
you
it
just
too
brought
far.
up Albert. You brought up Albert.
Hey, I want to ask Tuttle a question. Do you think if you play Shepard that you're kind of wishing upon a Sterling star if you do that?
Gosh, it's a Rager edge thin or
That was,
Whatever.
dude.
Ah,
Rager's
you
edge
almost
was
had
good.
it. You
Rager's edge
almost
was
had
good.
it.
That's
That
so
one's
bad,
good.
dude.
All right.
Can't wait for the Born Identity one tomorrow. It's gonna be.
He's got COVID and that game is canceled.
Has that game officially been canceled?
It's gonna be. I mean, just give it like 10 hours.
Don't ever question Roger insistent to push a game through.
You mentioned Jacksonville with Luton. The other side of that, Deshaun Watson.
Is he going to be
Deshaun
popular?
Watson.
Coming off a
No.
bye week. You don't think he's going to be popular? On FanDuel, I think he might.
Well, the thing is Russ and Josh Allen. Then you're going to always have your mandatory 5% Mahomes. You know, I expect Kyler to be reasonably popular. I expect I expect Tua to carry a little bit of ownership if Cardi's stuff holds. So I just think he kind of gets squeezed out. I would be surprised to see him above like 8% in anything.
You think Cardi moves the needle?
I mean, the blitz is very popular.
There you go. Blitz promo. Devin, give me that whenever you got it. All right, let's go with the DraftKings lineup.
Cash game, right?
I'm not sure if it's a
Cash games on DraftKings.
And Peter, we'll let you start.
You're going to let me start.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a weird trend. We were mentioning Preston Williams and Devontae Parker. Preston Williams got more burn coming out of the bye than Devontae Parker.
Mm-hmm.
He's 4,200, I think. Let's play some Preston. 4,100.
This actually is a cash lineup.
All right, and let's pair him with Tua. Davis, who you got? Yeah.
Inaccurate. We're not doing that.
Why?
Let's just do Kyler and Andy Isabella on the other side.
Sure.
No. Why would you say?
I'm going Russ Metcalf as my picks.
All right, fine. I'll let you do Russ Metcalf.
This is Davis being stubborn about the matchups.
This is purely ideological at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I will say Lockett is going to be
7,800 for DK. He's wide receiver 2 on this slate.
Zigzag theory demands.
But honestly, my thought on the Metcalf Lockett one is you just play either both or the one who's going to be lower owned. And Metcalf is going to be lower owned this week for sure.
Just got to follow the zigzag. Everyone knows.
But Lockett has the slot funnel. I don't know if you know that or not.
I haven't seen this in the super private conversation, so I wasn't aware of the slot funnel yet.
Yeah, we all
Davis said he did not care. He did not care about slot funnels.
No, I said LMFAO when Tuttle copied and pasted it.
I've always wondered how you said that out loud. But,
there you go. That's how it's done.
All right, Tuttle, you got to pick.
Who do we got in this lineup? We have Preston,
Russ,
DK, and Russ.
Yeah.
Russ, DK, Preston.
Okay, let me go to my sheet over here and look at some plays.
You got to bring it back with a Buffalo guy. Is it gonna be Diggs?
I didn't watch the game. This is a legitimate question. Did anyone actually watch the Buffalo game last week?
Yeah, John Brown did not look good.
He looked terrible against Tennessee. Like, he couldn't move against Tennessee, so I don't know if he actually looked any better.
It was weird too because he was off the injury report by the end of the week.
And Gabriel Davis, like, I think he dropped a touchdown last week too when I was watching. Like, he didn't look good either.
I don't want to pick any of these guys though. Let me pick somebody else.
Well, what you could do.
Just let Tuttle pick.
Yeah, I don't want you influencing my picks here, David.
All right.
Kitchen just wants to pick for all of us.
You already shot down Andy Isabella.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad you're joining us on this show. Zach Moss is 5,200 if you want to play him. All right. We might have to skip you if you don't. Like, we got to move on.
I am giving thought to this. I'm picking Allen Robinson, so chill.
Oh, I know what this is setting up for.
Oh, boy.
Anytime Kitchen can say the big dog with a mini correlation.
No, I mean, yeah, why not? 7,900, Derrick Henry. He's going to play him. Tuttle opened up. I was not planning on it, but I have to now with the mini correlation.
He's actually a good play this week, though.
I mean, he's been a good play pretty much every week. So,
what's his ownership this week?
5% max. His ownership will be such that he is guaranteed to do poorly, basically.
All right, we're gonna need to save some money.
Mm-hmm. Go cheapy.
I see a running back who's cheap who fits, Pete.
That's what I was just gonna do, a running back. Let's say it at the same time on the count of three and see if we're in lockstep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Melvin Gordon.
David Johnson. DeAndre Swift.
Melvin Gordon at 5,300 against Atlanta, and he's the one catching all the passes out of this backfield right now. I mean, Lindsey had the nice touchdown, but Melvin Gordon is the clear lead in this backfield right now.
Who cares about touchdowns anyways? All right, so Russ, Derrick Henry, Gordon, Preston, Metcalf, Robinson. We're left with 3,400 left per player. So if you go cheap for defense, throw in like Lions or Vikings.
We're going to need a punt wide receiver here.
Or a punt tight end, and you can go a decent flex. Someone throw out a punt tight end.
Well, I have one.
I know
how cheap do we need? Like punt?
Yeah, like Jonnu Smith punt.
Oh, that's not even punt.
I know a cheap tight end.
Let's hear Davis first.
Actually, Irv Smith Jr. is the one who makes sense in the context of the week.
That's what I was going to say. Irv Smith, 29.
I could have said Alberto to keep the bit going, but Irv Smith Jr. is better.
Yeah, we're not. If we're playing a backup tight end, it's going to be Irv Smith.
Guys, we're having a bad show. This is
2,900. We get 5,200. No, if you have 5,200 left for a flex, that's what Zach Moss is. If you want to correlate there.
No. You definitely Martingale, Le'Veon Bell. You got to trust the process. The narrative looked good. You got to play 14%
Le'Veon Bell. Owned in the millie.
It's one of the most absurd
14%.
things I've ever seen. I've never made such a bad play in my life, I think, than playing
Davis
him
is
last
propping
week.
him up. Davis is also talking about his touchdown prop.
Just massive L's, dude. I don't take L's like that where I publicly say I was wrong, but I was very, very wrong.
All right, that is a Davis bump. We have right now only 56 likes, and we still don't have 2,000 subs. So make sure to smash it. Let's talk about smashing running backs. You like that segue, Peter. Who do you like this week as far as running backs go?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of the guys that are going to be popular, I think, are guys I don't normally like to play, like David Johnson, David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs. The guy that's jumping out to me, and we've seen this a bunch where the price hikes up, but he's still a really good value relative to that. And I love Chase Edmonds at 6,800. I mean, he's expensive, but as much as we all want Eno to be a thing, I really want Eno to be a thing. I mean, Chase Edmonds is going to get 20 plus touches in this game.
Kitchen doesn't know who Eno Benjamin is.
When will Drake...
yeah, like I'm not an Arizona State fan.
When will Drake be announced as playing this week?
Oh yeah, you're grinding the tea leaves
after the noon game's lock. But
no,
before
I mean
4
it's bound
PM?
to happen. He's like, we already know like the injury's not as bad, right?
Yeah,
that he's
it
actually
wasn't as bad.
Considered questionable now.
Why would they do that?
If you do play this in cash, maybe check inactives before.
No, dude, that's weak, dude. That's snowflakey to check inactives. Don't be a nerd.
I've never seen Levitan so tilted as he was about the late breaking Glazer report, man. Just you could see the emotion coming off that tweet.
DeAndre Swift, Davis.
I mean, it seems like the right possible game script for him, but it also
can you trust him? It's not trusting him. Can you trust that coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, he had 6 rushing attempts for 1 yard last week, but only 4 targets. He hasn't topped 5 targets in any game. Every time he's gotten there on efficiency. And if you think that guys who get there on efficiency are going to be owned, it generally speaking is not ideal. I mean, strike this from the record, Devin. This can't be like a circulated clip out on social media, but I would rather play Melvin Gordon this week than DeAndre Swift.
Highest snap rate of the season though for DeAndre.
I think DeAndre is good, but I'll say this. I would prefer to play him in game stacks like Kirk plus Swift plus Marvin Jones plus Jefferson plus Thielen.
Do you know what was so sick about the DeAndre Swift thing is Kerryon Johnson stole a passing touchdown. And that's where DeAndre Swift has been getting a decent amount of looks in the passing game in the red zone. When Kerryon had that, I was steaming.
Yeah, that was what was frustrating.
We give Davis crap, but the DeAndre Swift and game stacks call is legit. I mean, the only way he's going to hit value, like Davis said, is efficiency and catching passes. And the only way he's going to be on the field a lot is if they're playing from behind. So stack up Minnesota passing attack, which is going to be leverage off of Dalvin Cook. So yeah, I think that's a really good tournament.
I also, just before I forget, I just want to make the point that I think Jefferson and Thielen are like, it's like, this is like Blender, like when he's like talking down to everyone on Twitter, like 101 leverage stuff of like how good of leverage.
Do the Blender accent.
Do it, Davis.
No, the folks didn't like it last week.
They did it.
We loved it.
It.
Yeah. Do it, Davis.
So you gotta play Justin Jefferson because it's not even good. That wasn't even good. It needs to be scratchier.
That's what Davis doing an accent. Any accent you do is gonna be good just because you're the one doing it.
Well, most of the time, I just do Pete's impression of me when I'm doing an accent.
We're asking a question. Okay, so let's talk real quick about Matt Breida. If he does play,
seems like
4K on DK. Do you have to play him on DK? On FanDuel, he's like close to minimum salary. He's 4,700 on FanDuel.
The one thing I will say is this is not like the DJ Dallas situation where it's just like so obvious that he's the last man and is going to get all the touches. Like you have Tua in the second start. The team has not wanted to use Breida up to this point. We don't know if Howard's going to be active. I just feel like there's a lot of ways this could get funky.
Okay. And then the last thing is, since we're talking about FanDuel, by the way, Listener League, FanDuel.com/Swolecast. You've got James Conner, and I know he's expensive, but also, is this not just like an easy possible two touchdown game for him against this Dallas team that's going to be playing either Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush?
No, it seems like he could be the slate breaker. I agree.
I will say though, I think like his work has been encouraging. I think it's 18 plus touches and however, 5 straight games, something like that. If this game gets ugly quick, they're going to mix in their other running backs so fast. They're going to mix in Anthony McFarland. They're going to mix in Benny Snell.
And the other thing
Tuttle,
is,
as the guy that predicted the Chiefs stack last week, like you did, you have to realize that if it does get ugly, then there's a potential that's because James Conner has 2 touchdowns.
Well, there's a potential. Yeah, it's also a potential their passing game goes off.
I was thinking in my mind, the most tilting thing if you took a really overweight James Conner position would be like a Ray McLeod reverse touchdown on the 4-yard line. Like you're just losing your mind.
Well, it happens, and they jet sweep all the time with Claypool and Deontay.
And I don't even think you need a blowout for Snell to come in because we saw Conner get stuffed on the goal line and then Snell comes in and converts. So to me, again, like all things, it's an ownership play to see where his ownership settles. I
think he's going to be chalk, don't you?
I don't think so.
I think it's hard for him to be chalk because it looks like Edmonds and Cook, who are 6,800. Edmonds is right next to him. And then we have Dalvin Cook is like the play that everyone's going to force. So I
think a lot of people will go Josh Jacobs and David Johnson as well because they're
the
in
rosary
that
beads.
mid-tier.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Jacobs is coming off of 31 carries. I mean, people are going to can't wait to jam Josh Jacobs.
I don't think I've rostered Josh Jacobs once this year to be 100.
I think I'll take Conner ownership over Jacobs.
Really? I'll book that, Tuttle.
Yeah, it will.
Wow.
Little cheeky 25.
100,000 to his 200,000.
Yeah. Let's get the
Someone
James
bet me. Where are all the James Conner owners? Where are they? Someone book me.
Suck my.
No. Stop.
Tuttle's about to get nerd bash 2020.
Nerd owning the nerds.
Chat's asking if anybody's playing McCaffrey.
No. Why would I play Mike Davis's backup?
I
We
just
are
hope
giggling
Christian
together. If anything, it's like Dalvin Cook. I don't think Connor's going to be popular as you think.
Then book some action, nerd.
Where all my action at, bro?
He's not going to be like super chalk, but he's going to be higher owned than Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think there are a couple other. We do just need to address this. David Montgomery, since Tarek Cohen tore his ACL, leads the NFL number 1 in expected points. No player has accumulated more expected points. No player has also underperformed expected points by as much as David Montgomery.
I would say that the Bears having 2 offensive linemen potentially out for this game would be a bad thing, but I'm not sure it matters against this Titans defense.
Well, what you would actually want for David Montgomery is you would want him to get literally like 11 receptions. Like that's the only way he gets there, I think.
I'm not sure if you guys saw the Titans' 3rd down defensive woes.
Mute him, Devin.
I probably missed it, Dave, believe it or not.
They could like get a stop, I think, in like 100-something consecutive drives and still not be league average. They are on pace for the worst ever 3rd down defense percentage.
What were they doing in those unsanctioned practices then?
Coughing on each other. Like I don't know, spitballs, but they were not. Although you want to get some boots on the ground take, releasing Jonathan Joseph, cutting who they cut, Vic Beasley, the big $10 million signing that they had. Maybe they're going to be motivated this week, but
remember when they were supposed to smash against a Bengals offensive line that like.
Yeah, five backup offensive linemen. How are you feeling about that Tannehill performance, bud? Are you feeling okay?
Tannehill is fine. I'm way more worried about the defense. Tannehill was fine. The offense is going to be okay. Not concerned about the offense. It's a league record defense. On the bad side,
Chiefs Titans in the divisional round. How are you feeling about that game potentially? You feeling good? Feeling confident?
I mean, all it takes is a big dog game. Just ask Lamar Jackson last year, bro. Nerd.
You just tried, bro. Please, no one ever do this again. No one ever compare Lamar Jackson to Patrick Mahomes to me ever again.
Oh, you don't like wide receivers compared to quarterbacks?
Patrick Mahomes is just no one has ever played as well as he does. No one ever.
Okay, let's talk about wide receivers. You guys mentioned Adam Thielen.
Play Metcalf, nerds.
No one's playing Metcalf. No one's playing him. It's too expensive. But you did mention Christian Blake, Davis. How comfortable are you in recommending Christian Blake to the masses?
So
I just want to scratch this one from the record too.
Yeah, please.
That's the thesis behind this play.
So this is the thesis behind the play, is that I think how Atlanta views these wide receivers is they view Zacchaeus as Julio's backup. They view Blake as Ridley's backup, and they view Brandon Powell as Russell Gage's backup. And if you go look at the correlations between their snaps and their targets, all of that plays out. I think, though, for this game, I would imagine that Zacchaeus and Blake probably split. Like, I don't think we will see.
Isn't that what happened when Julio was out? Everyone thought that Zacchaeus was going to smash, and he didn't.
He played literally. He ran around on every drop back. And if you go back and look at the Green Bay game when Calvin Ridley was banged up, Blake had 5 targets and had his highest snap share of the year. If you look at when Russell Gage missed the game with a concussion, that was the game when Brandon Powell had his highest snap share of the year. I'm not that confident, though, in saying, like, oh, Blake is going to play the Calvin Ridley role. I think probably Zacchaeus will play some. Okay. But I'm going to play Blake a little bit in my own personal action.
You're not comfortable in recommending Blake in cash?
I don't think you need it this week is the thing. I mean, if it was like, oh, okay, we got to jam McCaffrey, we got to jam Michael Thomas, maybe, but it doesn't seem
Davis,
like
will you go on record saying that you will not play Christian Blake in cash this week?
No, I won't, because I might. I don't know. He's not on my team. He's not on my team right now, but that doesn't mean I won't play him.
Gilcast will be a must listen if Davis plays Christian Blake.
Oh, imagine playing Christian Blake, or imagine if I have him in and then late swap him to play like Denzel Mims or something terrible.
All right, Tuttle, what Steelers wide receiver are you going with this week?
Flip a coin.
I know you got to pick one.
Play the price. I don't know. Who knows? Deontay Johnson would be my pick, but like, he's gonna get hurt. You play him, he's gonna get hurt.
I think Deontay is like a cash lock. It seems like, but yeah,
he will lock.
He will
cash lock.
I mean, he seems like underpriced by like 1,000.
I'm surprised your hand in the dirt model doesn't have Deontay Johnson at a higher risk to leave the game.
No, it's I got to talk to Sammy Reed and see what we're feeling about the target share this week. Got to see if we should put him at like 25 or like 36. I know Sammy thinks it should be closer to 36.
All right, who are some wide receivers that you like this week, Peter?
Yeah, I mentioned those Dolphin guys. I like them. I also like the Panthers guys again. Robbie 6,300, DJ Moore 5,600. Yeah. I think those guys are going to be very nice plays. And yeah, I'm with the Thielen and Jefferson as well, with Dalvin Cook's ownership getting out of hand. And look, we have the theory. These rookies coming out of the bye, the team watches all the tape. They say, my God, these guys are explosive. I got to feed them more. We're going to get rid of our starting quarterback, Gardner Minshew, because Jake Luton is going to unlock Laviska Shenault.
I know you're going with that.
4,200 coming out of the bye. I will be playing him in my cash lineups. Here's the thing. I don't play cash, so take that with a grain of salt.
I actually saw that Shenault price and immediately thought of you guys.
He was in my cash shell.
And DJ. Of course.
Yeah, Shark's cheap too.
Shark's
super cheap.
5.2. Yeah.
I'd play him if Minshew. I'd instantly play Shark if Minshew was starting.
Yeah.
Is Keenan Allen just a cash game play, Davis?
7,000 seems like a fair price point for him. Like,
his targets with Herbert are just insane.
I know it. And what is so tilting about the Chargers, though, is like Keenan Allen had like 4 for 40 in the first quarter, and he ended up having a smash game last week, but they stopped throwing it in the second half. What were they doing? Why are they trying to put the game in the hands of Troy Pope? Like, someone explain it to me. I don't get it.
Will they ever get smart and just keep passing?
No, Anthony Lynn is like consistently one of the worst decision makers of any head coach. It's not. I expect this to be what they do all year.
Okay. Tuttle, do you like any cheap wide receivers? I'm thinking of one in particular that you might like.
How cheap we talking here, man?
Under 4K.
I know which wide receiver Kitchen is thinking of. I
I'm gonna have to
think.
scroll.
All right. He had a teammate that is suspended for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. That's not who I was thinking of.
Why don't I know this? Oh, but I do like a cheap receiver. Now that I'm scrolling,
I was thinking of Darnell Mooney. He's still under 4K against this Titans defense. He's 3,900.
Just play A-Rob. I'll give you.
But you got to go cheap. Like if you need a cheap guy, I saw someone. It might have been Sigmund Bloom. Compare him to. He said he's this year's Darius Slayton. Thought that was an interesting comp. As far as just
give me Marcus Johnson for 3K.
Okay.
Overdone
Peter, who is the guy you were thinking of?
Quintus.
I was gonna say close. I was gonna say Marvin Hall, 3,800, went 7 targets for over 113 yards. And Galladay is gonna be missing. So
because that game is the smash game.
Not.
I will say,
bad.
like, do you think Hall is 100% running in front of Cephas now?
I don't.
Like without a doubt.
Well, so it's interesting. Another one of these weird wide receiver correlation things. Galladay comes back. Cephas becomes a game day inactive. Hall is active because he plays special teams. So there is obviously there's that chance that the team views Cephas as the Galladay replacement as the boundary wide receiver, and Hall just stays in the role that he always plays.
Yeah.
But also he had 100 yards last week, so maybe that earns him some more leash with the coaches. You don't know.
By the way, guys, my Quintus Cephas potentially being having a better NFL career tout's not looking too bad, huh?
Was it compared to Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'd snap take Quintus Cephas right now.
All right. So let's move on to FanDuel lineup, FanDuel.com. Let's see if the listener league.
How do you spell this?
I actually have the FanDuel.
You've been having a few rough weeks. Having a few rough weeks on FanDuel, Davis.
No, we got there. We got there with the Metcalf swap last week.
So you didn't have him originally in your lineup then?
Had Lockett, Ayuk.
Ayuk's gonna. Well, I don't know if they're gonna.
He's gonna smash in 49ers practice tomorrow because that game's getting moved to Tuesday night.
Oh man, I hope Tuesday night football though. I'm here for it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say
you can definitely tell that Kitchen is not a content grinder because he's like, yeah, let's get a Tuesday night game in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's make these weeks longer in the turnaround.
It's like everyone who grinds content is like, please God, no, we can't.
And Kitchen is just thinking about another halftime Blizzard run.
He's thinking about another fourth quarter slate.
Like literally now in Tennessee, like the only day that I don't have action is like on a Friday. If there is a Tuesday night game, because then you've got college football Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Maction now Wednesdays, Thursday night football.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Maction tonight. Not gonna lie.
Ooh, I gotta go register, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. You guys,
make sure you do it during the show. That you
everyone say bye to Davis before we get his attention back in 10 minutes. Bye, Davis. Bye,
Davis. You go
Thank
ahead
you for reminding me, Tuts.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm the one that reminded you. I'm literally the one that said it.
Dude, Tuttle, he's such a good friend. He's always he makes sure I don't miss a slate, you know?
Stop. All right. Davis, you go first.
Before we
so we did Russell Wilson on the last one. I'm gonna hijack this team.
No. You already hijacked it last time.
You don't get to do stacks in both.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's double up on Chase Edmonds then. Because I think
double up on
FanDuel, I think Chase Edmonds will be a little bit less popular than on DraftKings due to some concern about, Benjamin, Jonathan Ward, whatever.
I just want to
so cheap on FanDuel.
Just want to clarify, we are not doubling up on him. We didn't play him in our first lineup that Davis wasn't paying attention to when we built him.
I even knew that.
Hey, I thought we did. But
all right. Peter?
We didn't get him in the other lineup. I want some Stephon Diggs. Let's play some Diggs.
Love it.
We should have
classic Swolecast stuff to go through all the wide receivers and not talk about like the third highest projected wide receiver of the week.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Hopkins or Diggs.
Well, didn't really talk about Lockett either, to be fair.
But we talked about Lockett. We talked about Lockett plenty. Metcalf and slot funnel and everything else. I don't think Hopkins is going to be owned this week. So
I think that's correct.
Just like, I don't know, pricing seems different. Tuttle, we got Edmonds, we got Diggs. Who you like?
Trying to figure out if I want to make this a double stack for the Bills or
going Zach
not.
Moss.
The Bees.
Yeah, Smokey. I don't know if I want to do that or not, though.
Oh, he didn't practice today, so don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, he was never going to practice today.
Well,
I'll just go with another cheap running back and non-sexy David Johnson.
he's only non-sexy if you make him non-sexy. He could be sexy against the Jags this week.
He's getting the touches too.
Off a bye. Both. Oh, this is like the team fresh, like with Edmonds and Johnson, fresh legs coming into it. All right. So Edmonds, David Johnson, Diggs. We need a wide receiver. Let's go with Thielen.
All right, I'll get my stack in and get Josh Allen there to Diggs.
Dig.
You digs it. Okay, Davis.
Can we do Noah Fant at tight end?
Wait, hang on. Did you just tout a non-Albert O Denver tight end? Can you say that louder for the people in the
back?
Sir,
I like them. I like them both. There's room for both of them to eat. There's plenty of turkey on that table.
Yeah, he's too cheap. 5,800.
I'm surprised you didn't just double jam Metcalf, dude. Need to bring back Metcalf.
Yeah, you need to bring back.
You got another one, Tuttle?
I will bring it back with Lockett.
Slot funnel, bro.
Are you Sammy Reed?
I don't know who I am anymore.
That sounded just like
he's Sammy Reed. He's Peter Overzet doing an impression of Sammy Reed doing an impression of me.
I think so.
Was there a third receiver? Oh, I got it. Never mind. Overpaying for Thielen, hoping that.
So if we go like a 4K defense, you're left with 5,800 for a flex. 5,800, 5,700. You could go Zach Moss if you wanted to.
You are loving Zach Moss.
Really wants to play Zach Moss.
Well, you have to look.
Like,
this is Zach
really
Moss's team. Like last week was the transition phase. This is Zach Moss's team. If the ball is in the red zone, Zach Moss is going to be the one that is carrying the ball or catching the pass.
Will you now extend that logic to the context of this team where we need Josh Allen throwing to Diggs in the red zone?
Right. Allen running for the touchdown himself.
It's a double stack. Didn't Zach Moss is going to catch some passes as well. Have you never heard of the onslaught?
This isn't an onslaught, though.
I know. One more. We need one.
We need a cheap running back that's not Zach Moss.
You know what we could do? No, I'm not. It's too disgusting to even recommend Curtis Samuel, but I almost did for a second there.
Jesus, no.
All right. I'm
David
playing
Montgomery's ugly. Antonio Gibson, you could do 6,200.
Yeah, you go Montgomery, or you could go. We talked about Slayton. He's 5,900. You can go cheap on defense. Lots of air yards for that fella. All right, tight ends.
I do just want to give an update from Dolphins practice. They're saying the Breida injury that sidelined him with was a hamstring. Laird with the ankle was limited today, and Gaskin is out. So
Hammy's not good.
No,
do we have an update on if DeAndre Washington can play this week?
He can't play this week.
Too quick of a turnaround.
Do you know who could?
Jordan Howard.
Lynn Bowden, baby.
So Davis and I were talking about
Pete
this.
and I actually have already been in the lab on this, and we're not anticipating much of a role for Lynn Bowden.
without running back, within trading away a wide receiver. I mean,
I think the problem is they like Malcolm Perry better.
We were
for Bowden.
We're reading some articles about the Raiders.
The
they said he was no, not the. Oh, I can't afford that. But
in this economy,
the Raiders were saying Bowden was a bad influence on the rest of the running back locker room, and I'm worried that he was trying to corrupt our Laird and has gotten punished accordingly.
I mean, he was never a good locker room guy in college, right?
Yeah.
And he got in a fist fight before the Belk Bowl. Yeah.
I remember that.
I love how you knew what bowl it was.
Because he went off that game then. Because we still
he had like
200 rushing yards.
Yeah, he had like
as
47
quarterback.
DraftKings points.
Like, can we still play him, or is he going to get suspended?
Yeah.
Lynn Bowden went full nerd bash. Let's go.
Where my trumpers at, dude?
All right. We've got tight end. Tuttle, you mentioned this guy's price in our secret chat. You've got Mark Andrews at 4.8K. What happened to the fella?
He sucks. I mean, he's always been pretty touchdown dependent. Even last year when he was scoring.
It's not just him that's not doing well. It's this whole offense.
Let me tell you too, DraftKings is tempting you.
Yeah,
or at least
4.8K.
4.8. Lamar Jackson's cheap.
They're not playing the Steelers.
They are playing the Colts, who have not allowed a tight end touchdown though this season.
Flow chart.
So they're due.
Lack of flow chart.
All right.
Is it just me, or have we not gotten a lot of flowchart conversation this year? Or have we just not fully hit that point of the season where the trend is so solidified that people start pulling out the flowchart?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have
maybe the coronavirus has just made people lazy in terms of, pinpointing stuff. Like they just have been like, whatever, dude, play whoever you want.
Cardi's sitting in his lair.
I was about to say, we can ask Cardi.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cardi, there was a price reduction on the Blitz. So that's why just go to RotoGrinders. That's the special I was thinking about. My mind is always thinking, premium sales, corporate. Darren
first.
Waller. Yeah, company first. Company man. Darren Waller, second highest total. He's another wide receiver. Davis, thoughts?
He's very cheap. He's like on DraftKings at 5,800.
I mean, I guess, but for a tight end, it's not cheap.
I kind of think of him as being like a $6,500 player or whatever. Like especially if it's going to be a pass heavy Oakland script. He's had at least 4 receptions in every game. I don't think he had 4 receptions in this last game, and he's also scoring touchdowns this year. He has as many touchdowns this season as he had in all of last season. So I think he looks really strong. The tight end price though, that has the nerds most up in arms is Mark Andrews, $4,800 on DraftKings.
I shouldn't have told him to go register games, huh?
Did you get registered, Davis?
What did I do?
Hey, you
just
really
spent the last
Mark
5
Andrews.
minutes talking about Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and you guys are the nerds, so I'm just referring that. Dude, look, I had to look up who led the MAC in rushing last year while I was making my placeholder.
Placeholder, you just play a bunch of randos.
Just good luck filling out that work log this week.
Shaquille Seymour season.
Tuttle did just reveal something, and Davis mentioned it before with his dummy lineup for NFL. You hand select your dummy lineup, is what you're saying.
Well, it's a registered lineups. He does, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just
click all the lowest salaried guys real quick.
No, see,
but what happens? What happens
when you forget or something else happens?
At the stakes I'm playing kitchen, you can't.
Exactly.
You're not allowed to forget, man.
I can say probably about 30 times a year I register for a soccer slate, and I'll just forget about it, and I'll just go and check it 3:00 in the afternoon and be like, great, I played 6 dudes not in the lineup. So I've been trying to get a little bit better about that.
I will say that the one time that I will find time early in the week if I'm sitting on the toilet to hand build the lineup then. Like that's the lineup, and then I can put it into whatever.
It's a nice bookend there to you eating a roast beef sandwich earlier and then having that visual to go with it, Dave.
The only time
the truth
that I've smashed in a placeholder lineup and forgot to go reset it was CSGO slate. That was at some random hours of the day.
The good old days.
Oh no, this was like 2 weeks ago.
Don't I do not miss CS:GO. I do not miss COD.
I never did COD.
Dude,
League of Legends.
We're running duos for COD tonight. Come throw down, nerd.
Davis, are you getting a PS4 or a Xbox or PS5?
A PlayStation 5? Yeah, I wish I could get it. I'm not a millionaire though, so I can't. No one will pre-order me one. I've been looking for weeks, dude, months.
How much would you give? How much would you give for if someone had to pre-order?
Capitalism seems great until I try and pre-order a PlayStation 5, and then it's just like, who cares?
Maybe you need to get more creative with your Patreon titles to get that money flowing in, Davis.
It's not an issue of money. It's an issue of stock to flow, dude. It's like they're just trying to wait to get everyone to buy them at Christmas. So it's a scam.
Wow, this guy talks to one Bitcoin guru and is now saying stock to flow to me.
No, I'm reading Black Swan right now, so I'm feeling very guru-y.
So here's the thing about Waller. Bringing it back to tight ends. If you play Waller, you have to play somebody cheap, or you've got to play it's going to be a mid-range lineup. You're going to be playing David Johnson, David Montgomery, Jacobs. You're going to be playing all the mid salary wide receivers. Are you comfortable with that, Davis?
No, because I don't want to find myself in the dusty mid tier at running back. That's like what I'm trying to avoid finding David Johnson.
Those are the guys though that are in all the optimals right now.
Well, I know, but I'm not going to be playing them. Hand build, dude. I'm built hand tough.
Hey, remember when we jammed Kittle into our lineups last weekend?
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, buddy, you had to be dead enough to swap. That's the key.
Paying up at tight end has not been great this season.
Kittle, I mean, I know I cashed the listener league with my Kittle IU team with Metcalf.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congrats.
Do we have a listener league this week or no?
Tuttle, where you been? FanDuel.com/
Tuttle's out here.
We're working on it.
At one time.
Tuttle's rigging for the Maction, dude. He missed it.
Dude, this is.
Or is it not? Is it not set up yet?
It's not set up yet, but David
has not gotten it set up yet. This is classic.
It's not. It's
classic.
Not David's responsibility, but it will be set up today. So
it will be FanDuel.com /Swolecast.
Now the fourth time, FanDuel.com /Swolecast.
You'll still get tweets. Hey,
this is the worst show. This is the worst show. We've done some bad. We've done some bad shows.
Yeah, this is last place. I don't remember one actionable thing that's happened on this show.
You making lineups with Tuttle for some rando soccer slate.
Imagine fading Angel Di Maria like I did.
When I fill out my time card, I'm billing double, and it's just taking away from Davis's. Great.
All right, Hunter Henry, yes or no this week, Davis?
No, I'm done with this guy.
I mean,
I'll do him in game stacks because I think that is a good game stack. But like, it's just every week. It's like, okay, I'm working on my cash team and Hunter Henry fits and like whatever he's in there. But I'm not.
So annoying.
It's so annoying. So I am publicly saying I'm not playing Hunter Henry in cash, and I will only use him as the second stack with Herbert or the double bring back with Carr.
I'll take the other side of this. I'll get my hand in the dirt here.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
they've been having a lot of success on the deep ball. 2 weeks ago, it was Guyton taking one, Mike Williams coming off the big game. If they ever defenses try to keep things underneath, Hunter Henry's target share will pop up again. He had 4 targets last week. He's fine. He gets a couple more targets. He pays off the $4,000 price tag. Davis is a fish. You can play Hunter Henry as a one-off.
All right, all in. Hunter Henry this week. Lock button, 150.
That's
Hunter Henry is a one-off. Isn't he like $300 less than Fant?
Hunter Henry is a one-off. Is how you want to play him. He's not going to rack up yardage. You're hoping he gets 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let me try to talk you into someone $300 more on DraftKings. This guy got 10 targets last week.
Who's his
He
quarterback?
almost had
did
a
he catch?
touchdown.
He's 1,100 more than Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I'm talking about Evan Ingram.
Okay.
And Peter's talking about the better play of the two.
I mean, we started off this show with 5 minutes of Daniel Jones chatter. What I want to know is, how did David Kitchen land on that as like the talk? Like what? Like
no, I said GPP play. GPP play with
like.
I think Giants.
The Giants, they're in a great spot this week.
First of all, you two don't even know what I led the show off with, because y'all were seeing who the midfielder was for some rando European team.
Like,
I think the Giants are a good GPP team.
What article did you read?
He had his virtual assistant bring together a bunch of articles.
I was gonna say it's Eric. I was gonna say Eric Bime for like conviction plays or something had Daniel Jones, and that was the last thing Kitchen saw before he started the show.
It's a Wednesday. I hope the Giants go off, and I hope that both of you are so embarrassed. Right, Evan Ingram had 10 targets last week, was 1 yard short of the pylon.
Kitchen's lineups this week come preloaded with Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram, and Zach Moss. You cannot do.
He's got the Dontrell Inman bring back locked in there too.
It's gonna be Slayton. If you watch that game, Daniel was so close. He was so close, and so many.
He was so close to like 19 interceptions.
Oh yeah, we don't have the tags up, so I guess it wasn't that.
Thank you. I choose bad plays by myself. Thank you. Play whoever you want.
What I'm curious is, what is Kitchen's research process like before the Swolecast on Wednesdays? I think I want some insight onto like Kitchen. Look like I wonder what Kitchen's research process is.
Sits on the toilet and builds a lineup.
Lineup HQ. But yes, there is a time where I will sit on the toilet and just go over salaries and just say,
Daniel Jones is too cheap.
This guy.
Kitchen, when do you look at the next week's games for the first time?
Like on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
A Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's when you're looking at games for the first time. I just, the brand I have, low price quarterback. And I thought, maybe it's recency bias coming off that Monday game where they jumped out to an early lead, but I thought he looked good. And he's got a rushing floor as well. So eat it. All right. Let's wrap it up, please.
Great show, guys.
Yeah.
Really good. I'm really looking forward to our post-show meeting where we went over, what went right, what went wrong, and we game plan for next week.
Yeah, I have a feeling corporate's going to be talking to me this week, so that's going to be fun.
I would love to see official Swolecast performance reviews.
Yeah. Tuttle sits down with Cam.
Hey, terrible take, Marcus Johnson. I know you guys all want it.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Marcus Johnson.
Yeah.
All right. Davis, closing thoughts.
DK Metcalf, good GPP play. Denver, Atlanta is the off the wall game stack that gets there with over 90 combined passing attempts.
Peter, closing thoughts.
Last time Patrick Laird was a viable play on DraftKings, Davis almost got fired from his job for tricking all the subs into thinking they had to play Patrick Laird. We might.
Now, what was it called? He was disingenuous.
We were just Josh and Laird to the people.
We were Josh and Laird to the people.
We're coming up on a year anniversary of that. So, man, if we could get some Laird burn this week, that would be very nice. And I do love that game. Get the air raid, fins up. Let's roll.
Yeah. All right. And that's your closing thought, and that's a legit closing thought.
Oh, have fun out there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just play whoever you want.
Play whoever you want. Play whoever you want.
Nerd Bash 2020.
Guys, I think we should joke less next show. I think you guys.
Yeah, the giggle gang. People are sad.
All right, so that will do it for the show. Just want to say thanks to our producer Devin. I'm just mentioning his name just so he is tied with this show. You can't get away from it, Devin. And thanks to everyone else hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. Sorry to those listening on the NFL football feed about how terrible this. Like, imagine this being your first ever foray into what the Swolecast is.
Well, certainly would be your last.
Yeah.
We're growing very well organically on YouTube. We get a lot of first timers every week, and they love it.
I'm going back to last week. You guys said he's going back to paying for Awesemo. That was the thing. We were charging him.
Yeah, those are the people that get me the most. It's a free show. Early in the week, we like to goof around while giving some first thoughts.
We get you ready.
Yeah, we get you ready. We're still 4 days out from actual slate.
Yeah.
That comment
really get impact.
That comment's definitely coming up in the performance review. So it says here, you guys with a free show drove someone to pay for one of our competitors.
They thought we were so unfunny that they had to listen to Awesemo talk for an hour.
What are you talking about? I like Corey Davis.
now you're doing Forrest Gump.
All right. Well, we've officially lost it. That will be it. Special thanks to everyone tuning in. Give them the likes. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you think. Twitter.com/Swolecast. We'll see you next week here, maybe on RotoGrinders.com.